right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give everybody a minute to get in here as we get started. This is our admitted student webinar series. We are talking with Student Business Services this evening. So we'll let everybody else join us. Give me just 1 minute. All right, everybody, it is 6:01 p.m. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Zach Manning. I work with Red Raider Orientation, Red Raider Camp and Orientation Services. We're so glad that y'all joined us this evening. We are very fortunate to hear from Connie Brown in our Student Business Services office. If you have not heard Connie or anybody from her team at Red Raider Orientation yet, that's okay. You'll hear from her shortly. And if you have not come to Red Raider Orientation yet, be sure to check out the Student Business Services and Student Financial Aid and Scholarships Office presentation during your orientation so you can know more about what to expect. But today, what we're here to learn about is the upcoming bill that your student will receive, or you as a student will receive. And so with that being said, this is a webinar. We can't see you or hear you, but we can use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen to ask questions. We have Sarah and Anna here to answer questions that you might have about your upcoming bill. But really pay attention to what Connie has to say. It's going to be some valuable information as we get started for the fall semester. So without any further ado, please help me in welcoming Connie Brown.
Hi, everyone. And as Zach said, welcome. And I'm here to give you all the information I possibly can about the bill. And as you have questions, just type those in, and Anna and Sarah will be happy to answer. So probably the most important thing to know is what the due date is. And so that is August 19th. Your student must be paid in full, enrolled into a payment plan, or have enough financial aid awarded to cover 95% of their mandatory tuition and fees. So mark that date on your calendar. This is a list of things that are very important that a student needs to take care of. Once they log into RaiderLink, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment, they will complete their financial responsibility agreement. We call it the FRA. We have lots of acronyms in higher education. This automatically populates, and they're going to check the box agreeing that they will pay their bill. They also can agree to the global electronic consent, which also automatically populates in RaiderLink. That makes it possible for them to get their 1098-T. So when you start doing your income tax at the end of the year, you'll need that. We like to remind students to check their email. Email's not as cool as a lot of other social media, but it's the official way that we communicate at Texas Tech with students. Another thing is to sign up for My Direct Deposit. So if a student has more financial aid that they're going to receive than what their bill is, they will have a refund. And so we like for those refunds to go out directly into a bank account. It allows the student access to their funds much quicker. These last two things, authorized user and FERPA, a lot of parents get mixed up, students too. These are not the same thing. When a student sets you up as a parent, as an authorized user, or whoever is going to pay the bill, that allows them access to the e-bill. The FERPA is a different thing that's set up through the registrar's office, through the Red Raider Family Network, and that allows us to talk to parents. So please take care of those two items. So if you wanted to see what the bill is today, or what the student would owe for tuition today, the only way you can do that is if you use the tuition estimator. And it's on our website. It's also, if you scan the QR code here, you can access the estimator. And if you plug in the information, you can come up with to the penny what the tuition and fees will be for the student. But if you just wait a few days, there will be an actual bill for the student and for you to see. But in RadarLink, you'll be able to view statements, current activity, make payments, enroll in the payment plan, and that's where you would add authorized users. And you can actually add up to 5 authorized users. So if Grandma or Aunt Betty wants to pay on that bill, they'll be able to. So the how-to guides are on our website for payment and fee information, and also the e-bill. We accept any kind of payment almost, and here's a list. You can pay online through the e-bill with a debit card, a web check. You can also use a credit card, but there will be a processing fee with that. You can come into our office, pay with a debit card, with a check. Just be sure if you're using a personal check, cashier check, that whatever you use like that has the student's R number included. And believe it or not, we still take actual cash. If you're an international student, we have 2 ways that you can pay through Convera or through Pay My Tuition. And then if you want to mail a check, which lots of people still like to write out a check and send it to us, you would send it to this mailing address that's listed here. This is what you would see on our real-time statements, and this is going to be available as soon as billing has been added to the student account. We're doing fee assessment this weekend, so early in the week you'll be able to actually see what the bill is. And this would be available for students to see as well as authorized users. Any last-minute schedule adjustments, late registration, that's all going to show on the real-time statement. So one of the things that happens at Texas Tech is cancellation. So each semester there is a due date, which is August 19th, and 3 days prior to that, to the first day of class, if a student is not paid in full or has enough financial aid to cover the bill or in a payment plan, they stand to be canceled. And whenever your registration is canceled, that means you lose all the classes and you can re-register, but you may not get those same classes. So if you receive phone calls and emails from Student Business Services saying that you're on our cancellation list, we're not joking. You need to contact us and see what you need to do so that you can avoid cancellation. So to make it a little easier for everyone, we have 2 payment plans. The budget payment plan listed first here opens July 22nd for fall, and it divides the entire bill into 4 equal payments. Each payment would be 25% of that total. It includes tuition and fees, housing, meals, parking, your orientation fee. Everything's going to be on the bill. And it divides it, 3 days prior to the first day of class is when it has to be paid. And then these are the other payment due dates listed here. The emergency payment plan is not available until August 12th. That's also the same day that financial aid disperses. And this divides the tuition and fees into 3 installments. One's 25%, and the other 2 are 37.5%. This plan does not include housing, meals, parking, etc. So those charges will still need to be paid by the end of the term. And the student must have a balance of $2,000 in tuition and fees to get into this payment plan. So if there's any problem with that, please contact our office and we can help you with it. The payment plans must be set up by the student or the authorized user in e-bill. And both of these payment plans have a $25 setup fee. And of course, there's no interest on either one of them. The emergency payment plan is best for For students who are waiting for some additional funding to come in, perhaps there's a loan you're waiting for or some additional scholarships. But be sure if your bill is not covered, you can't pay the whole thing at the beginning when it's due, that you get into a payment plan. Some of you may have a third-party sponsor that's going to be responsible for paying the students' tuition and fees. So third parties do not include family members. Third-party sponsors include federal, state, military, prepaid plans like Texas Tomorrow, Texas Promise, Texas Workforce, international sponsors, even domestic sponsors. So if you have any kind of third party that's going to be paying your bill, there's paperwork documentation that you'll need to submit to our office, and it could be sent via email, or when you're here for orientation, you can hand it in directly to us. If it's a military benefit, state or federal, you need to initiate those sponsorships through the Military and Veteran Programs Office. And then they get with us and let us know what the benefit is that you'll be receiving. Our office also processes exemptions and waivers. So if you are anticipating using either a waiver or an exemption, be sure that you submit documentation to us for that. For example, if you're a valedictorian, you would have a document from your high school that you would submit to us so that we would know that that's going to cover your tuition and fees. Or actually, that one covers tuition, not fees. If you are an Oklahoma or New Mexico student, next week, you can get into the bordering county, bordering state waiver, which will help you with your tuition. We'll reduce it and make it more like in-state tuition. Another thing that we provide through GradGuard is tuition insurance, and the enrollment date for this insurance is July 19th through September 9th. And this insurance covers up to $10,000. It costs about $125 a semester. And if for some reason a student has to withdraw from the semester because of illness, accident, anything like that, of course, those are things we don't want to even think about happening, but this insurance can help cover what is remaining in the bill that you might have, so up to $10,000. If you go to the QR code that's here, you can get more information from GradGuard. So these are some reminders. Payment due date is August 19th. Please remember to sign up for my direct deposit. That's in RadarLink. Submit all the documentation for any waivers, exemptions, or third-party contracts. And I would recommend that you do that as soon as possible so we can get those on the student's account. Please review and accept your financial aid, and be sure all the things that the financial aid office requires you to do are done, so that once they get ready to disperse aid, which is about 10 days prior to the first day of class, that money will actually pay on your bill. Be sure and set up your authorized users. Take care of FERPA. And if for some reason all your financial aid has not come in and you still need money for books, Student Business Services provides a book loan, and that opens August 5th until September 18th. Of course, the book loan will have to be paid back, but you can get up to $500 that would help you with book expenses or, other expenses you might have while you're waiting for financial aid to come in. And then first day of class, August 22nd. And I bet all of you are very excited about that. We have our contact information listed here. And I know going to school costs a lot. It's a stressful time for parents. I have 4 kids and we finally got them all out. So I personally know what it feels like. But please let us help you with any question you have. If you are here locally or when you come to campus, you can come to our office. Of course, if you're here at Red Raider Orientation, we're there for you and we can answer any of the questions you might have. So guns up, rec 'em, and all that other good stuff that we do at Texas Tech.
Thanks so much, Connie. As you can see there, Student Business Services is available throughout the week, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Their website has valuable information. You can also email them. Connie, as folks are coming through, I know one thing that always happens is that move-in time. Student Business Services and Student Financial Aid are very, very busy, right? Because not only is it new students, we also have current students coming in. Any recommendations on how to make sure that everybody is prepared for that move-in time and they don't have to spend the time waiting to talk with Student Business Services or Student Financial Aid? What are your recommendations on doing that?
Well, I would take care of whatever needs to be taken care of ahead of time as much as possible. So if there's any question you have, anything you're worrying about, call us now. I mean, we're a little bit busy now, but not like it will be when everybody starts moving in. And we try really hard to answer all the calls we get each day and any emails within 24 hours. So we're ready and willing to help.
Sorry. Thank you, Connie. And again, if you have questions, please be sure to put them in the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen. Connie, Sarah, and Anna are happy to answer any of the questions that you have. Connie, as you mentioned, you have 4 kids that you have had come through college, many of them here at Texas Tech University. Any recommendations to the parents on here as they plan for paying that bill and staying in communication with their students about their bill?
Well, I usually say this in the orientation presentation when I talk about setting up my direct deposit, but I forgot to say it tonight, so I'm glad you asked. I learned after our first son went to school that when we set up direct deposit, we set it up with my bank account. And I doled out the money because with our first son, we thought, he's so mature and he's going to be so good at all this. And he ran out of money in 1 month and had to get a job. So, you know, I don't know, you may have already taught your kids how to use their money, but we must not have on our first one. But our other ones were better because we helped them budget. I know when, you know, when students come to Tech, they're away from home and they meet new friends and they can spend a lot of money. So I would definitely work with them on their money management. I also think even though we all want to do everything for our kids, the more you can let them do for themselves, the better. They've got to learn how to take care of themselves. That's part of why they come to school, not just to learn, but or to learn academic things, but also some life skills. So please don't do everything for them.
That's great advice, Connie. And as you think about that, many of y'all are probably, if you haven't signed up for a housing move-in date yet, you will be doing that soon. You're 1 month away from your students showing up in Lubbock for the fall semester. So I think, like Connie said, take this last month as an opportunity to kind of have a crash course in finances and anything and everything else. But I will tell you, there's a number of resources. In addition to Student Business Services, in addition to Student Financial Aid and Scholarships, another great resource for budgeting purposes and money management is Red to Black, which is a free service. And I don't know if Anna or Sarah, if you can put that in the chat for everybody to get that website. But our College of Human Sciences has an outstanding personal financial planning program. And in that,
Mhm.
their students, their graduate students, provide free consultation services to any and every student at Texas Tech University. So I highly recommend. I know you're putting a lot of bugs in the ears of your students, but take advantage of Red to Black and their services so that it's just another valuable resource to know what exactly it is to budget and to use money wisely and how to plan for the future and how to also utilize, as Connie mentioned, when you have that refund coming in due to financial aid, what do you do with those funds? How are you using those so that you're not 1 month into school and out of money? Because we want to make sure you do that. Also, another great resource that hopefully you've either seen at Red Raider Orientation or you will see is the opportunity to work on campus. There are thousands of students employed on campus. I know that we hire students, I know Connie hires students. The rec center, university student housing, hospitality services, and every office on campus needs students to work here. Sarah, you sent that to me. If you can send that to everybody, sorry, that would be great. But have your students, maybe look for a job. There's some jobs, I will tell you, we limit the number of hours they can work. So if they're just trying to get an introduction to working while going to school, they're not going to be working a full-time job on campus. So recommend through the Career Center, through the Student Employment Center, there's jobs on campus and around town that your students can find if they're looking for ways to fund their college education. I'll also say, and Connie, I know y'all work with them, but we have Air Force ROTC and Army ROTC if your students are interested in alternative measures to pay for that tuition and fees. Again, if you have any other questions, please put them in the Q&A. I know Connie provided a lot of insights, but we want to make sure that y'all are ready when that bill comes out because it can be confusing. Connie, where do y'all see most of the questions coming about the bill? As far as the tuition and fees, is there any particular tuition element or fee element that you get most questions about?
Well, it seems we get questions every semester about the whole structure and how billing is set up. And Texas Tech does have a complicated tuition and fee structure. And there's information about that on our website. You can't not pay any of the fees. I mean, they're just part of it. So I guess if you really have questions about that, that would be definitely something to call and talk to us about now. I think I used to work in financial aid, so this was also confusing. Housing and dining split their bill 60-40. Financial aid is split 50-50. So you may think you have everything set up with enough money coming in to cover, and then you don't. And it's because of that 60-40 split of housing and dining. And that's just the way they do it, like it or not. Now, I think there are some students that you can visit with them and they will split it 50-50, or it used to be that way. I don't know if it is now, but it wouldn't hurt to ask. And one thing I have learned is that it never hurts to ask a question. Even if the answer initially might be no, there is still an answer. And that's what we try to do, is help you figure out, you may say, I don't want to pay these fees. Well, I can't not charge you the fees, but let's figure out how we can help you do it. And I would definitely reach out to Student Financial Aid. I would get on their website. They have lots of information there. And I know they are slammed with questions right now because everybody probably wants more money than they've been awarded. And so that's what people are asking about. And sometimes it comes down to the fact that you're going to have to take out some loans. And with education costing like it does, that's just part of it. Just be sure your student is majoring in something that's going to make him gainfully employed someday, so that he can pay those loans back. And I also think, students need to make good grades. They need to come to college with the intent of getting a degree, not just having a good time. And I'm sure all of you have already talked to your students about that, but um, I don't know, the first year is kind of rough sometimes for students. They're away from home. There's lots of opportunities to have fun. So stay in contact with them and, make sure they're okay and they're going to class. There's lots of resources on campus. Zach has mentioned some of them. Red to Black. We have student employment opportunities, but there are all kinds of things on campus to help students be successful. If you've been to orientation and you walked around in the exhibit hall or in the ballroom with all the exhibits, all the different offices on campus, you've seen that there are all sorts of things to help students. So help your student be brave and reach out for help if they need help with something.
As I always say, there's no trophies for struggling in the classroom, but students do get trophies for 4.0s. So really encourage your student to do that. And, one thing that Connie mentioned, she was in financial aid. Students may come in not receiving scholarships, but once you've proven yourself at Texas Tech, you earn that 4.0 repeatedly, you're involved, you have an opportunity to earn new scholarships as a current student. So you can always go up, but you can also go down. That's something I have firsthand experience with, like Connie mentioned a long time ago. But I really do. One of the things that Connie mentioned also is that you aren't able to pick and choose the fees that you pay for. So that means if you're a student out there, you're paying for everything, use everything. Use everything. You can go to the website. If you look down there on the website that Connie's provided here, you can see the breakdown of what all that is. There's things for international, for study abroad, that goes towards that, towards buses that you are able to utilize on campus and around town if you don't have a vehicle. The rec center, you're paying for it. All you have to do is swipe your ID. Athletics, you're paying for it. Swipe your ID. Academic tutoring, there is the library. It literally, there's so many services that you are provided through your tuition and fees. So I really want to encourage you to take advantage of them while you're here on campus. And if Connie, any closing remarks, anything you want to wrap up with?
Well, I guess the main thing is that we are excited that you've chosen Texas Tech, or that your student has chosen Texas Tech. I think when you get here, if you haven't visited, it's going to feel like home. And if you've been here, you know what it feels like. And all of us on campus are here to help your student be successful and to help you feel good about driving away and leaving them. If it's your first one, it's really hard. And by the time it's your last one, it's like, oh boy, now we can have a vacation. So it will be okay. We will take care of them.
And I think that's the biggest thing is make sure you prepare your students to be self-advocates inside the classroom, outside the classroom. Have them ask those questions. Myself, Connie, Sarah, Anna, the rest of the faculty and staff here at Texas Tech University, we want to see your students succeed. If you're a student, we want to see you succeed. There's no trophies for struggling or not doing well. This webinar will be recorded and placed on our website, and we have a few more webinars still coming up. So we want to encourage you to come back and watch those. We'll have webinars on fraternity and sorority life, as well as student engagement, but great opportunities to learn more about what it means to be a Red Raider before your time here in Lubbock. And again, we are so excited. If you have questions, go ahead and look at the phone number down there. Go ahead and take that down real quick. Feel free to visit the website, email Student Business Services. They are ready to help you as you go through this, which is a very unique process. Again, Connie mentioned if this is your first student going to college, this is very unique coming out of that high school experience. So we want to make sure that you're prepared and you're knowledgeable and you're comfortable and confident in coming to Texas Tech University. So with that being said, if there's no other questions, we will call it a night. Y'all have a great rest of your evening, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall. David, looks like you had a question about your vaccine record, you can use that through the MedProctor app. And if not, you can bring that to your Red Raider orientation to talk to our student health services. Good question. And if there's no other questions, y'all have a great rest of your evening. And we look forward again to seeing you in the fall.